You've seen bag unboxing, you've seen makeup unboxing, you've seen clothing unboxing, but have you seen pesticide unboxing? Let's get into this. I have been waiting for a while for all these things to come in. I'm so excited they're finally here. So let's open one thing at a time. First box. Handy dandy scissors. Okay. Our beautiful contents are inside. Let's get into it. This is from the NAISMA. Might be saying, Joey, what is that? It's the National American Invasive Species Management authorities. It's an approved entity that sells supplies to take care of invasive species. You guys know my garden is filled with invasive species, and while I do try my best to manually remove them, sometimes you gotta bring out the big guns. So today we have our very first buckthorn blaster. Now I don't have buckthorn, but what I do have is a ton of Japanese knotweed. These are really cool because you put in the pesticide and then you put in dye, which I have right here. Make it blue, make it blue. This is gonna track where the pesticides spread to. We don't want a lot of spread, which is why we're using a tool like this, but in the event that it does get away from the plant that we're trying to take out, we wanna know where it goes. So after we fill it up, we'll add on this little bingo top. So you put on the top, and then what happens is it's like a bingo pen where you can gently press out the product so you're not just psh everywhere. You're applying where it needs to be applied. Then it comes with a little cap so you can put the cap on, and then what's really cool is we have a decapper, which knocks that baby off so that you're not having to touch any of the chemicals with your bare skin. But next, of course, we need to get the supplies to go into our tubes. I read so much on this, like so much, because there's so many pesticides out there, and I wanted to use one that was effective, but it wasn't overkill. Where I researched it was on a bunch of blog posts from gardeners, from people who their full-time work is getting rid of these invasive plants. So we're going with a high yield super concentrate. This baby looks toxic. So we'll add this with a little bit of water to dilute it, and then we'll put in our Make It Blue, and then we're gonna have these bingo, basically, machines to psh, psh, psh. I've talked about this before, but the original goal was to not have to use pesticides. However, I'm about 18 months in on this garden, and I realized that there is no other way to get rid of some of these plants for good. I'm up against things like Chinese wisteria, fish mint, Japanese knotweed, and so on. And some of these plants you have to actually get rid of. You can't just keep digging them up because the roots are so far underground. And if you've seen my garden, you know I have all these like wooden beams. They're in the wooden beams, which means I don't really have a choice. I have to get rid of the plants for good. I have my little kit ready, and now the next time we have dry spell for like 5 days, I'm gonna get out there and get to it.